Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make them bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Bet Like a Goat. I am your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. And you guys, welcome to this episode sponsored by, that's right, the one and only BetOnline.ag. And today I would like to break down the main event, Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. When I initially think of this match, I think this is youth versus experience. Now, who is it that the youth, if the youth does win, is because he's going to probably come out firing and really catch this guy, this veteran. But that being said, I just believe that Glover Teixeira, the fact that he's fighting in Brazil, in his hometown, he's going to be inspired. I do believe he brings that tactical war. You see, Glover Teixeira doesn't necessarily just bring the war, he brings the experience. What I'm saying is he brings guerrilla war. And I think for that reason, I have to go with Glover Teixeira. Anyhow, guys, enough talk. Let me break it down at the gym. So Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. Guys, first of all, let me introduce you guys to the next flyweight king, Bruno da Silva. He's got a fight March 14th. You guys make sure to stay tuned and watch. Let's get back to Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill. Guys, this is a fight that contrasts the youth at speed, athleticism with Jamal Hill versus a veteran who has gone up against guys like John Jones and Glover Teixeira. A guy that understands fakes, feints, a wizard when it comes to experience and tactical fighting. When I think of this fight, I think of who is it that's going to bring their game plan? Because if Jamal Hill does win, he is going to win early. Because Glover Teixeira has proven to get hit quite a bit. If Jamal Hill wins, he takes him out early. But that being said, I just cannot bet against the Brazilian veteran in Glover Teixeira. This is one thing that Glover Teixeira does very well. He's able to back people up against the cage. He'll back them up. Right when they get to anywhere between 2 feet to a feet is when he does his signature fake. This is where Glover shines. He is literally throwing his combinations, because notice he went right hand, left hook, and he throws again. But this time he throws. He already has him going backwards to eventually find the legs. You see what I'm saying? Like he'll boom, fake up top. He does a really good job of boom, and then drop into his double leg. He does his signature fake that's really good. He'll get people to react up top, and then he's dropping to his double leg to eventually looking for mount, controlling. Boom, starts to ground and pound, which is something that he does very well. So he's not just playing the jiu-jitsu game. He's gonna be controlling wrists, hitting you with his hands, getting you to giving people to eventually give their back to him, for him to look for his rear naked choke for this submission. I mean, there's so many options. There's so many options that Glover has. I mean, he's good from side mount. I mean, he's gonna be going for key locks, Americanas. I mean, the sky is the limit for the veteran, but my biggest question for the veteran is, can you allow yourself to stay composed and not get hit in those early rounds? Because the later the fight goes, Glover Teixeira does shine. Protect yourself at all time, Glover. It's the same reason why I'm going for you, Glover Teixeira, and you.
Let's go, Glover. Let's represent Brazil. We're with you guys.
And now for the co-main. Guys, if there's one fight that I'm really looking forward to, who I've had the ability to coach and train, that's right, Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo. Woo! I tell you what, it's a good matchup. It's a good matchup for all the fans. There's never been. This is the Arturo Gatti Mickey Ward 4. I mean, this is that fight where they're both. It's a draw and they're both 1-1. But if I had obviously without necessarily even being biased, because I know them both and I love my money, I want to keep my money, I'm going to have to go with Davison Figueiredo. Why is he's fighting at home. Two, I know he did a good job of cutting the weight where he's actually literally down. He's only maybe about 6-7 pounds, and over to be able to make 125 pounds. And I just feel like a lot of times too with Brandon, he's been traveling a lot, being a commentator, doing all these different appearances. Like all that stuff takes recovery from you. It sucks. At times it could suck the life out of you. But I just believe the God of War has been smart. He's brought out training partners from Mexico, Olympians and things of that nature. So he knows where he wants to take the fight. I do believe Brandon Moreno is good, and he is a counterpuncher. He knows when to anticipate, when to actually punch. But I think Figueiredo spending time over here at Fight Ready, getting different coaching and evolving, I think is going to be a difference in this fight. My biggest thing is Davison recovering after that weight cut. Anyhow, enough talk. Let's take it to the gym. So Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. You know what, guys? I feel like I got the insight on this because I've trained with both. I trained with Brandon Moreno back in from 2014 to 2016, and obviously Davison Figueiredo from his third fight where he was able to get the victory. To me, it's always been Brandon will always be the same guy. He's always the same combinations. He's a guy that tends to anticipate you a little bit more, kind of webs you into his fight zone, goes lower body and then climbs up top. But I just feel like with Davison Figueiredo, the adjustment that he's made, yeah, he hasn't fought for about a year, but at the same time is Brandon's fought one time more than Davison Figueiredo. He's been traveling like crazy, going to all these UFC events. So when I see things like that, it's like, I go back to that Cormier-Stipe Miocic fight. Why did Daniel Cormier lose to Stipe Miocic? He was out and about. He was commentating. He was doing the ESPYs. He was doing X, Y, and Z, constantly on a plane. It wasn't his age. Glover Teixeira was tend to prove that at the age of 42 to be able to win a UFC title. It's the distraction that you have. So that being said, even though Davison Figueiredo hasn't fought in about a year, I just think his power is going to be a little too much. I just think that drive that he has to really put that stamp on Brandon Moreno's head for the fourth fight and just like, that's it. I don't want to see this guy ever again. I think it's special for that reason. I don't want to say too much, but I know there's a game plan being set in place, and it is going to be a different game plan. So for that reason, I'm going to go Davison Figueiredo. I feel like the power that he has in that right hand, maybe coming up with uppercuts, and obviously Brandon's gonna come in. He's gonna bring the fight. I think I already see that. I think he's gonna go in there. He's just gonna fight Davison. Brandon's gonna be looking for his chest lock. He's gonna be looking for takedowns as he comes in. But I think Davison's gonna be too smart this time because he's been already with him. He's making those adjustments. He has Memo Torres, a Mexican that went to the Olympics from Mexico, literally hopping him out with a lot of these different positions. It's he's got too much power. There's too much on the line for him. He wants to go up to bantamweight, and I think for that reason, the inspiration piece with Davison Figueiredo, there's a plan set in place, and I'm helping him. Even though he didn't train here this first time for visa issues for his family, I can see where his mindset is going. So for that reason, I'm going Davison Figueiredo. And somebody else who has trained with Brandon and Davison, Bruno Da Silva, I'd like to get your two takes on this fight.
Yeah, I've also been trained with both, you know. I think it's a different style. Brandon Moreno is like faster, and Davison Figueiredo got the power punch, so Davison gotta be smart, you know, like you said. Brandon Moreno is gonna bring the fight, you know, trying to take him down. I just think Davison's gonna win, and yeah, it will be a good fight.
Well, there you have it, guys. That's the breakdown. Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo. This is one of the fights that I really want to talk about. That's right, Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. Did you guys know that Neil Magny has the most wins or the most fights in welterweight history? And he's going up against a veteran, a former world champ in the sport of jiu-jitsu, and a title contender in Gilbert Burns. I mean, if there's one fight that's probably going to be one of the most competitive, maybe second to Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo, it's this one right here. Who do I give the edge to? I just got to give the edge to the person who has been around in championship experience, the person where he's going to be fighting in his hometown. I'm going to have to go Gilbert Burns. I do believe that a lot of Neil Magny's traits, or his best traits is the jiu-jitsu game. It's in the grappling, the submission game. But I do feel Gilbert Burns, through experience of what he's done in that sport, he's so much better than Neil Magny in that game. So I think it's going to be neutralized. So then what happens? It goes to the striking. Gilbert Burns has had the ability to knock people out, to be able to finish people on his feet. And for that reason, I'm going to have to go Gilbert Burns. Here are my picks for the rest of the card. You guys make sure to place your bets at BetOnline.ag. So thank you guys for watching Bet Like a Goat. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C. Again, I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not allowed to bet, but if I was you, this is what I would do. Anyhow, it's the probability game for me. You guys make sure to go to betonline.ag and stop playing and place your bets. I'm out. So thank you guys again for watching. It means a lot to me. So you guys remember, there's more breakdown, there's more technique, there's more tactics, and there's definitely more cringe. So make sure to subscribe and click on that button. I'm out.